Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of In His Timing Podcast. This is your host Hasi.
And your co-host Lito. And today we will be talking about friendship. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It is hot today. It's hot in here actually, not.
I don't think it's that hot. La Paz was.
Oh my gosh, here we go again. We get it. La Paz.
It was hotter though, I'm not even joking.
There's actually this song called Paz, but it's like a Christian song. But yeah, today we'll be talking about friendship, and there are a lot of friendships in the Bible, but today we'll be focusing on David and Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
But before we get into that, we're going to do a quick prayer to start. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your mercy and for your love. We ask that you please speak to us. May your word reach your intended audience, your people that are learning about your word and wanting to follow you. May we grow all the friendships that we have. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. So we're gonna read first of Samuel 18:1. It says, "Now when he had finished speaking to Saul, the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul." So this is just like a little bit of what happened. A little summary is that before this, David had just defeated Goliath, and he became Saul's son-in-law. So he pretty much Jonathan's brother-in-law, and they just like finished speaking, and then this is when he's meeting for the first time Jonathan, and they said that he like the soul of Jonathan, loved David as his own soul. And I mean, I don't know why this happened exactly, but I mean, it just happened,
Yeah, and Saul was, for those of you who don't know, was the current king at the time.
The king of Israel at that time. That was appointed by God. And a little summary of this is that they were really close friends, obviously, and they loved each other they loved each other a lot. And Jonathan would there was a time where King Saul was looking for David to kill him because he was jealous of him. He was jealous of the things that he was doing because God was using him to like.
The Lord was with him.
Yeah, the Lord was with him. And King Saul was like obviously mad because he wanted to be the one used by God. But I mean, it's a whole nother story that he disobeyed. But point being that he was really jealous, and that jealousy drove him to seek David. Like he literally went to David, tried to kill him. Many times, yeah. Like David flee a lot of times, and Jonathan was always there to like help him, And it's crazy how like Jonathan was raised like us, like the royalty, and David was raised. He was a shepherd, so he was like kind of like the opposite,
Very humble beginnings.
Yeah, pretty much. And their bond was literally like so strong together.
And then also David was already like anointed to be
king. He was anointed by Samuel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean that's even more why Saul was even more like jealous,
Jealous, mad.
But also like Jonathan like wasn't jealous at all. Like imagine you're the son of the king that is supposed to be king, and there's this one guy to the throne. Yeah, there's this one guy
by blood.
Yeah, literally. So he was appointed. He was supposed to be king already.
Yeah.
But there comes David, and he kind of took that throne from him. But he wasn't jealous at all. Yeah. He still loved him. And he still like said that he was gonna be second of him, like if he was like, it became like when he became the king of Israel, he wasn't like jealous at all. Like there was no jealousy First, we can see there was no jealousy. Like, it was like pure love, you know?
Yeah.
And then when Jonathan passed, King David, because he was already king at that time, he wrote like something for him, and he said the love of him was wonderful, more wonderful than a woman. I'm like, that's insane. When I read that, I'm like, that's crazy. We can find that in 2nd of Samuel 1, and you, like, the verses is 25 to 26. But that's like what it says right there. You know, your love for me was wonderful, more wonderful than that of woman. I'm like, I don't know. When I first read that, I'm like, that's insane. You know, how
but
much
I mean,
the friendship was.
Yeah, but like if you think about it, that's like in the first of Samuel, the chapter 18, where it says that Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, because Jonathan loved him as his own soul. It's kind of like that was the beginning, and at the end, that's what David said about Jonathan. So it's kind of like you already knew, like, by reading that, it was gonna be like a strong friendship.
Yeah, because Jonathan helped them too. And then when he passed, also, Jonathan's son ate at the table, like at the royalty table, still, you know. And I think King David like kept his promise, you know, to like try to seek his descendants.
Yeah,
he helped them out, and then one of his sons ate. I don't know if he was his only son or not, but he ate at the table of the king too. He was like treated as royalty, you know. Even after he didn't have to do it anymore, but he still was loyal to him, like his friendship that he had with them.
Yes, sir.
Now he still did that. And that's kind of like a short summary, I feel like, of just this story of David and Jonathan. And that's what we wanted to speak about in this episode, like the friendship, right?
Yep. Because like anyone can have friends. Some people have more than others. Some people have, or I feel like there's different categories to friends. Like there's friends that you know, there's friends that you just say hi and bye to, or like small talk. But there's other friends like, oh, like you know more about their life, like what's going on in their life. And there's friends that are like you're really close to, you know, but and you hang out with them. And then there's we're kind of like David and Jonathan, you know, obviously they were like super, super close. And there's can be close friends, you know, best friends. Yeah. And like, because there's also like friends like on, like how I was telling you before. Yeah. Like on social media, but it's like, do you really know them? Do you really talk to them? Do you converse with them? Like, yeah. And I feel like friendship is a very strong, it's like a very strong bond. Yeah. And like we're gonna like go through the what's it called, the story, kind of, and then kind of like talk about it. Like in the first verse of chapter 18, where it says the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. It's kind of like there was that instant like click, there was that instant like connection, friendship, brotherhood, you know. Yeah. And then like it's just like some people like click right away, some people it takes longer, or like like for example for us,
that we knew each other since smaller. Is what you're gonna say?
Yeah, because I'm like, we knew each other since years ago.
Literally yeah.
Saw each other like a lot.
Yeah.
Just passing by. Literally, like, you know, I didn't even know anything about you. I don't think you knew anything about me.
No.
And then, I'm
just saying.
too quick.
But just the basics, you know.
Now look at us. Literally doing podcasts together.
Yeah, when we didn't cross a word before.
You're literally my best friend. We do like, I was gonna say, I'm like, not anymore. Since you're married. Oh, but you're my brother-in-law.
Yeah, literally.
That's crazy to me. Never did I think it was like you were gonna be my brother-in-law.
Okay, I'm not sure if you offended or be.
No, I don't mean it. Like, it's just because we never cross words. You never cross words with Amy.
No, yeah, I know.
So that, yeah, if you were like friends with Amy, like, oh yeah, I see it, but
yeah.
Nada.
That's a different story.
Oh yeah, and I wanted to go to verse 3.
First of Samuel.
Yeah, chapter 18. Where it says, then Jonathan and David. Oh, you want to read it?
No, you can read it.
Made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul. I'm like, that's crazy to me because they kind of, like, if you think about it, like that was basically like a promise, like a contract, like an agreement.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's how like things worked back then because it's kind of like
more official,
but it's kind of making sure that, oh, like I can trust you, like I can like what's the word, confide in you, I can, like, I know you'll have like my back. We see in the story where King Saul wanted to kill David. Well, I mean, there was many times he wanted to kill him. But the fact that Jonathan like warned him.
Before it was gonna happen.
Yeah, and like if you think about it, he was literally like risking his life.
Yeah.
For him. Jonathan was risking his life for David, his friend.
Yeah. Or like if you think about it, he was more what's the word? Like willing to help out David than his dad too.
What do
you know what I mean? Because his dad was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
So and then he was like more willing to help David than his dad. You know what I mean? He had more loyalty towards David than his dad at that point.
Oh yeah. I get what you mean.
Because he was trying to warn him and like, you know, not make his dad do what he wanted to do. So his loyalty was, I feel like it was greater towards David.
Yeah. Because Jonathan literally put his needs above David's, knowing that his dad wanted to kill him. And trying to, all those times warning. And also when they were eating at the table. What was that? I don't know, dinner?
Yeah.
That's when David didn't show up. And then Jonathan like basically lied for him.
Yeah.
Made up a story for David because he was worried, you know, they made
That's when he said he went back to his parents' house or something like that to celebrate.
He fled with Samuel, I think.
Yeah.
And then when he came back, I think that's when they went to the field and told them about shooting an arrow, letting him know like whether his dad was gonna kill him or not. That was gonna be like the sign.
Yeah.
You know, either to stay, that it was fine for him to stay, that his dad already like changed his mind or something. Yeah. If not, to like basically leave, like run away.
Yeah.
Escape. And then because I think in the story it says the first day that they didn't have that David's chair was empty, King Saul didn't say anything. I think he said he thought he was like sick or something. He didn't feel well.
Yeah.
So he was, like, oh, okay, like, not gonna say anything. But and the second day, that's when he asking Jonathan, and then Jonathan like basically lied for David. And then we saw that King Saul literally got mad at Jonathan, his own son.
Yeah.
And I think he tried killing him because that's when he like threw a spear.
Oh, I think I remember.
Yeah, he threw a spear at his own son.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, he missed, or he moved out of the way,
Yeah.
And then that's when, like, okay, for sure, my dad wants to kill David. Like, this is it. Like, there's no other, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when he went out to the field, and then that's what, like, the little boy telling him to go pick it up, and if he said, like, go far beyond, way beyond, or something, that was a sign that, him basically telling David he had to, like.
Had to flee.
Yeah, and then. Yeah, that's when they were alone, and then they basically said bye to each other. And they were weeping.
Yeah, literally weeping. That's crazy.
Yeah, like two men, two
army, like two men. Like, imagine they probably killed people before too. Like, they were like,
yeah, it wasn't like
they were like tough, not like they were. I don't know.
Yeah,
and also like they were like friends. It wasn't like it was a love for a friend. It wasn't a love as like a romantic love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like a different type of love too. Not like that. It was like a friend love.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people use this story to what's the word? Kind of to say that it's fine to be for a man to be with another man.
Like, they're trying to use the Bible to justify it. Like, they use
that's the word, to justify it.
Yeah.
Saying that it's okay. When the Bible literally in plain sight rejects homosexuality. But yeah, that's like how we said, they were literally like weeping in the field. I like how it said that David wept more or something. I'm like, not them adding the
who wept more.
Yeah, like, okay. Like, go out.
Yeah, and honestly, like, these stories, I don't know. I think I was reading Samuel, and then for me, like, Samuel's so interesting for some reason. Like, I mean, I need to read other books too, but I feel like Samuel was the first book that I actually read. Like, no, never mind. It's not the first book. Because I remember I read the Matthew and the other one's first. But from the Old Testament, probably, to read the full book. And I was reading First Samuel, Second Samuel. And there's, like, really interesting stories that relate a lot. And, like, this story about friendship. And I don't know. I encourage you guys to read. Like, if you guys want to read, like, Samuel. It's really interesting. I don't know.
I know, I was reading and I'm like...
I totally remember how I was telling you, I'm like, bro, like, I want to keep reading because it's so interesting. Like, before, when I was like, oh, like, I was reading and, like, telling you what I was, like, reading about.
Yeah, because you had mentioned to me about the verse and then the topic and then...
Yeah. But, like, even from before, when I was reading it, the first time I was reading it, it's just so, like, interesting. Like, what happens and then, like, this story about friendship.
Yeah.
There's also other stories, but this story about friendship is really nice too. And I feel like God likes when people get together. You know what I mean?
Like what?
Like, how there's some, like, if there's 2 or 3 in my name, I will be there. Obviously, if you're by yourself too, God is with you. But just something about, like, a group or, like, 2 people at least, like, praying to God. And, like, that makes it even, like, stronger. You know what I mean? Like two people like doing something will make it like stronger for God to like do something. I mean, we're just talking about friendship, but
yeah,
it's like also like getting together to do something, something good with. Because I was reading Matthew, in Matthew 18:19. It just says, "Again I say to you that if two of you agree on earth concerning anything that they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven." And this one says, "For where two or three are gathered in my name, I am there in the midst of them." And obviously, like, the friendship they had was like crazy, but like getting together to do things, you know, like how much they managed to do, like two people, one person warning the other person, how much they helped each other.
Yeah, they did.
And like that's kind of like how it is in the walk of Christ too, like help each other. You know, like if somebody's trying to harm you, you helped the other person, and like vice versa, because you're always gonna need someone to help you, you know. And like this story is just crazy how much they helped like each other throughout like the whole thing.
Yeah, and then towards the end when we're saying that David had to like flee after Jonathan had given him the sign, and they already grieved and they wept. And then in 1st of Samuel chapter 20 verse 42, it says, Then Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, since we both have sworn in the name of the Lord, saying, May the Lord be between you and me, and between your descendants and my descendants forever. So he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. The fact that it wasn't just like a friendship, exactly how you were saying, but that like they had that bond and became closer because of God, because of the Lord, because like they were able to do things together and grow in faith. They were able to trust each other through the good, through the bad. Like we literally saw that. Like, what if David didn't trust Jonathan? What if Jonathan was being like sneaky and being like faking it and saying like, oh no, it's fine to come, like, my dad's
their lives.
like my dad's not mad at you, like come over. And then what if he could have like been like in that manner, like what's the word, to
like lie
to him to get him to come so he could get killed, but like David literally trusted him
with his life.
It's like if they weren't close, if they didn't have that bond, if they didn't have that friendship, it's kind of like, would you go, like, if you don't have complete trust in them? Like that's the kind of like friendship that we should be forming. If you're still like kind of like iffy about someone, it's like obviously I understand when you're barely getting to know them, but like once you already know them and you still don't trust them, I feel like that's an issue. I feel like that's where you should look at, okay, is this friendship good for me? Is it bad for me? Is it kind of toxic for me? Is it leading me to good? Is it leading me to bad? Like, where am I? Where do I stand? What do I mean to that person? What do they mean to me? Because I feel like it could mean different things to either of them. It sometimes it's not mutual. Sometimes someone gives like their whole like being, and the other person's just like there, and it doesn't, and it should be mutual. It should go both ways.
Like that's how it makes it even stronger if it goes both ways.
Yep.
Well, that's what I always said about the toxic like friendship, because there is like toxic friendships too. Like with them, it was just kind of like helping each other, but there's friendships that trying to bring you down instead of helping you. And how I told you like that Jonathan wasn't jealous of him. And there's also friendships that people are like jealous of you when they see you like, oh, like they see you that you're prospering or whatever it is,
becoming successful.
or you find, I don't know, it could be anything, you know, that they don't have, and then they start like feeling a certain way, and they try to like sabotage it, or they try to like,
that's the word.
like sabotage it, or like they try to like bring you down for it, or like make you feel bad. I don't know,
make you feel less than.
Yeah, or something, you know. It could be like anything like that, like the toxic friendships.
Yeah, because like he was literally in line to be the next king, Jonathan.
Yeah, he had all the right to like defend his position.
Yeah, like because I mean he was the heir by blood.
Yeah.
But then to be like become like best friends with him, and to not even, if anything, looking out for him, making sure he stayed alive, making sure he was alive for that, you know, that like that he literally supported him. And I feel like that's what we need a lot too, like in friendships, to seek that we support each other, obviously in good things, not in like
oh yeah, that is true,
because there's a lot of friends that could support you doing bad things, you know.
Yeah, or hype you up to do something bad.
That could be so easily like found everywhere, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But for someone to support you in the good things, or like even have like literal faith in you, like knowing that no one else does, you know. Like I feel like with us, how we were talking about trust and support, like I literally trust you.
Yeah.
And I've told you this before, like I will like support you in everything, you know, that is good, obviously.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. I don't think we would be doing this. Like
you would be here at your house.
Here doing this podcast with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're always like supporting me. In the things of
Christ.
Of Christ. You're always like pushing me to do harder, and you're always encouraging me, and you do it in a way that it's actually like supportive, you know. It's not like you're it's not like you're like preying on my downfall, you know.
No, yeah, definitely not.
And you just like push me, and you always support me, and like that is a huge help, a huge like must have in a friendship, you know.
No, yeah. And also goes, how we said earlier, goes vice versa, because you do the same with me, you know. And it's like, I feel like whenever you see me slacking and you tell me, or like whenever you see me doing something wrong and you tell me, and I know sometimes I don't like it, but it is true, and I have to like well, it's true, you know.
No, yeah.
Like you have to like learn also to like accept the things that you're doing wrong sometimes. And it's like vice versa, like sometimes I tell you or you tell me.
Yeah.
And it's like we don't like hearing it, but it's true sometimes. Or yeah, it is true. And then we're like, you know what, like if we're both trying to do better, then we have to like be able to take in that constructive criticism from each other.
Yeah. And that's the thing, when we do talk about things, when we do push each other, when I do like see something that's wrong that you're doing, or I just point it out to you, you know.
Yeah.
Like I do it out of place of love, you know. I don't do it out of like envy. I don't do it out of jealousy. I don't do it out of like to make you seem like less than, you know, than me. And same like when you tell me. I'm like,
Oh yeah, I mean we both need it. I feel like, you know.
Yeah, it's
because if we didn't tell each other, I don't think anybody else would.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's because we're like the thing is also with us, like we're brutally honest with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you laughing?
Yeah. Just remembering. No. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Remembering what?
I don't know, whenever you tell me something or when I tell you something.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, when you tell me stuff and I'm just like rolling my eyes. It's like, but like I know it's true and I know it's like to become better. It's not like,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm like, no, you know what? Like he's right. I like this is wrong with me, or like I need to change this. I need to
Yeah.
do that, and then that's a way that we like look out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would hope that every like friendship does, looking out for each other, because that's
Yeah.
that's kind of like the whole
Reason, the whole thing.
of being friends. Like that's literally what Jonathan was doing with David. Like Jonathan was looking out for David,
Mm-hmm.
and then David again, like after his passing,
Yeah, he looked out after.
for his like descendants.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is like they remained loyal to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that David, knowing that Jonathan was putting like his life
Mm-hmm.
at risk for him.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's very true. Like a whole, like friendship. It's like trying to find at least one person you can talk to. I know it's like hard sometimes, like being able to trust someone, because also if you put your trust in the wrong person
or in everyone,
it could lead to like bad things.
Yeah.
So it's also like praying to God and asking God, like put the right person, and He will put the right person. But it's just also like asking Him,
Yeah.
because if not, then if you choose who, you might be wrong, and that person is not the person you may be thinking.
And if anything, they might stray you away from God.
Yeah, from God, or even making you do bad things, which is like, yeah, straying away from God and even going into like, I don't know, like,
or your family,
or your
straying away from
family.
your family.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I've said it before on this podcast, but like I literally prayed for Hasi, but like without even knowing it was Hasi.
Yeah.
Because it was like a moment in my life where I felt so alone.
Yeah.
Like I have people, like I have friends, but like I never had anyone super close to me. Besides Amy.
Yeah.
But I think I remember the prayer I prayed for a friend. I was literally crying like in my bed. I was praying, and I think it was just felt so lonely. And I literally had enough of it. I was like, God, like if you don't give me anyone, like this is it. Like I'm done. Like I'm just gonna give up. I don't know what else I said, but I know that I said I was just gonna give up.
Yeah.
And I think I meant it as I don't know if like give up in life or give up like God.
Like spiritual life.
Yeah. So, and I just had like tears coming out of my eyes. It was like it was all throughout my body that I was just like, I had enough. I was like so tired emotionally, mentally, like physically tired, like of everything that was going on at that moment. And then And I was like, God, like, please give me a friend, like, not just any friend, like a best friend, like for someone to be able to talk to about everything, but for someone to help me, like, seek you, to help me, like, push me to get closer to you. Because, like I said, like we were saying, like, there's friendships that can, like, stray you away from, like, all the good.
Yeah, all the good things of God.
And that was it. And then after I prayed, I think I just went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if it was like a few days after. We were here at the house for
Your birthday party?
Was it?
It was somebody's birthday party.
Yeah, it was somebody's. Or yeah, I think so, because I invited you guys, right?
Yeah.
I invited you, Jackie, and Melly in the group chat. I just sent it because I'm like, I don't want to send it to you guys like personally, because I'm like, I'm not that close to them. I'm like,
yeah, but you just made the invite.
Yeah. And I'm like, they're always together, so I'm like, I'll just send it in a group.
Yeah.
And I sent it to you guys, inviting you guys invitation. And like, I didn't think anything of it, you know. I just like, I think I just want to expand, like,
franchise.
Franchise. Close friendships. and then you guys, I think, I don't know if you guys ended up coming or not. I mean, you guys came, but I don't know if you guys, like, what you guys replied with. I'm like, you know what? I want to see if I can pull that up.
No, I don't remember, but I remember coming. When we're I think more people came and everybody was like talking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then we were at I think it was like the last table that we, cause it kind of like picking up.
Yeah.
It was here in the front yard, and then I was just like talking to you guys. I sat down because I was like, honestly, I don't even know why I sat down. Cause I was like, I invited them. Like, I need to actually like
talk.
Yeah, it's just because I didn't like talking. It wasn't you guys. It was just me, you know. And then, after that, and then you were just like talking. I was like, I've,
you knew I talked.
Yeah, and then also like, cause Becky always Becky mentioned again.
It's because that's how the way we were in common, because of Becky. Because Becky knew you, and Becky knew me, but we didn't know each other.
She's related to both of us, but we're not related to each other. And then, and then I was like, okay, like I'm gonna sit down, and then I don't know what you guys were. Oh, I found it. I found the message. It says April 12, 2022 at 4:02 p.m.
Wait, what?
I put, hey guys. Oh, because it was last minute. I remember because my dad asked me, or I told my dad that I wanted to have like something for my birthday last minute, but just like with like friends. Yeah. Not like because we always do it with like my family and my tios, my grandparents, but this time. Anyway, so I put, hey guys, tomorrow I'm going to have a carne asada here at the house for my birthday, and I wanted to invite you guys. I know it's last minute, so I understand if you guys can't make it. It's anytime after 5. I put, and please invite Brittany too. At that time, I didn't have her number. And then Melly's like, oh, okay. And then Jackie was like, OMG, yes, that sounds nice. You over here, I'm like, no reply.
I didn't reply. It sounds like something I would do still.
Yeah. Like, now that I know you, I'm like typical. Yeah, and then when we were at the table, we were just like eating, having a good time, and then laughing. I'm like, you're always laughing. You're always like joking around. Yeah. And then I'm like, like I actually want to hang out. It's just because I liked being alone. That was a huge thing for me. Yeah. Like, I loved being alone. And now I hate being alone.
I know, I was thinking that right now. I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't like it. I
Just
dislike
switched
it
off.
so much. Like, I can't even go to the store alone now. That's my sister. Ask someone. But anyway, and then and after that, I think I try to like make the effort to keep like talking to you guys.
I think also because Melly and Jackie would come here on like Tuesdays or something for like a meeting or there was something going on. So that's why I remember you guys were like also kept in touch more.
Yeah.
I didn't come, but I don't know why they would. I don't know if I forgot what it was about.
Yeah, like you didn't.
No, I didn't come. I don't know what it was about. I don't remember.
And that's when we decided to go south. I decided to go South Carolina. And I was low-key hoping you guys didn't go because then I was like, oh, well, I tried. Because, again, I didn't like going.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to go either, honestly.
But did you have any issues, like, asking the day off? Or what about your parents?
I think at that time we had already gone to...
Oh, you said Oaxaca?
Was it Oaxaca?
I think so. You.
Oh, I was going to Oaxaca, no?
Oh, no, but you already had the trip planned. And, like, Oaxaca. Booked and...
Yeah. I did. Yeah, because I remember I spent all my money on the trip to South Carolina. I didn't have no money when I came back. And I was like, oh, like, why did I do this? Like, I was like, that was my issue about, like spending the last of... Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Now I remember. Because I remember we're, like, at Buffalo Wild Wings. And then, like, I was looking at my bank account, and I'm like, I don't have money left.
Buffalo Wild Wings where?
Over there at, I think New Mexico or somewhere when we're coming back.
Oh.
I don't remember if you remember going. And then I was like, oh, no way. I'm like, I have to work when I get home. But I wasn't working anymore at McDonald's. That's why it wasn't hard for me to get the days off. Because I didn't work regardless. I was just going to school.
I was like, Flo.
No, I was going to school, guys.
Okay.
I was. At that time, I was.
For you to have dropped out after that.
All right, we don't talk about that no more.
Forgot you in school.
Yeah. But point being, yeah.
And then I remember when I invited you to go out to eat.
Oh yeah, and I thought you were gonna ask me that, or you're gonna tell me that you liked someone. Like I didn't know who. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, maybe he's gonna tell me he likes like someone. And like I was thinking that because I remember I think I asked you, and I'm like, oh, like I don't know if I asked you if Jackie and Melly can come or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, maybe not this time. And I'm like, that made it even more suspicious. I'm like, oh, maybe you want to tell me something like about that or like something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I was like thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's crazy. And then I was like wondering what it was about. Like I thought you were gonna like talk to me something serious or like, you know what I mean? Honestly, that's what I was going through my mind. I was like what is
over here? Like I'm starving. When are we gonna go?
And then I'm like, like what is it? Because I mean, we didn't talk, so that's what was like. It was new to me too. Like I was just a little confused. I'm like, like what does he like want to tell me? Like,
I'm surprised you went.
Nah, I would have gone. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
No, because I remember like sometimes with my friends from school, if I didn't see them for years, sometimes it'd be like, oh, like hey, let's go hang out. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And then I haven't seen them for like 5, 6, 7 years sometimes. And then we just hang out again. And then it's like nothing happened. Like we just talk the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's happened to me with like multiple people. So that's why I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm down.
Yeah, I would have said no. It was the other way around. I'd be like,
no thanks.
Maybe next time. But
there was no next time.
But yeah, and then little by little we became close, and then I think it was hard for me to like. Oh, that's the other thing about like our friendship is like we can be honest with each other. And I feel like, what's the word? Just had it. We can be honest with each other, and also like open
Yeah.
Um, but it was like I feel like that for me it was just like very scary because I I I feel like a lot of times like
Mm-hmm.
before we were friends, I feel like a lot of times I tried to open up and I tried to be like close to people
Yeah.
because I was closed off, but the like some of the reason, well, I was like shy, but another reason was because I feel like every time I opened up to someone, every time I shared anything about me with someone, I feel like they wouldn't like respect it and keep it like to themselves, or like they would go and like say it to other people, or they would go or judge me on it, or they would like
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, it was just hard for me to be able to trust someone, for me to be able to,
Talk about things.
yeah. And then with you, I feel like that's how I was in the beginning, because I'm like, again, like I was just getting to know you, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, like what if he goes and does the same thing?
Yeah.
I didn't want to, like, because I know some people that like share a lot of information, like that would take me years to share that type of information.
Yeah.
If that was me.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I don't like judging like people because I know like everybody makes mistakes. Like everybody has their own way of thinking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like also has that's why how I tell you like my friends like I can just talk to them like how it was like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of times like when I was walking, like I remember walking with like this guy, one of my other friends from school, and he would like start telling me all his problems.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is he telling me? I'm like, okay. I was like just listening and like trying to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, but it happened to me often because I remember like a lot of times, like whenever it got the chance for me and like the other person to be like alone talking,
Yeah.
they would just go off and start telling me. I'm like, is this? I just thought it was normal. You know what I mean too?
Mm-hmm.
Like in a way, I thought it was kind of normal
Yeah.
because it would happen to me often.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
don't know what this.
it's because the way you are that you actually like pay attention, you actually listen, you actually
Like
try to see it their way.
Yeah, maybe.
Because only if you weren't like that, people would not be going up to you and telling you stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, yeah, it's just like the way sometimes you hear people. It's like trying to put yourself in their position sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like if like I don't know, if somebody comes up to you and like starts telling you, it's like always best to just keep it between you two, you know?
Yeah.
Like for whoever's listening, if like somebody trusts you with something, like try to keep it like just the person, you know?
Yeah.
Between you guys, because also like if you go tell someone else, then it's like you're breaking the other person's trust.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they won't trust you anymore. And then besides that, maybe they'll tell like another person like, oh, I told this person this, and they went off and told everyone.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a fame that nobody trusts you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Because a lot of people told me like, I'm here for you. I like, you can trust me. And I'm like,
can I?
yeah, can I? I'm like, you were literally talking to me about someone else and like their problems that they told you and like in secret. And I'm like, I'm gonna keep it to myself. But like, if it was the other way around, I wouldn't want you to be,
Yeah.
And then yeah, like after that, we were just like got close. We started hanging out. We went out a lot.
Yeah, we used to go out a lot.
I'm like, damn, put up money.
Because I remember, was it like, who was saying like your sisters? I think I don't know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, dang, actually, like we see you every day now. I'm like, that's true. Huh?
Oh, really?
I think so. It was like at one point when we were like hanging out.
Yeah.
And then also because we would go out with like Amy, and then we would go out with like Abby sometimes too, or like I don't know, like different people. Or
yeah,
like
we
all
started
together.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like I feel like that was even good for me because I love hanging out with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
and I love giving people like their own time, but also in groups.
Yeah.
And like you were just always down like for anything.
For real, that's
Like, oh,
true.
just with this person, like, okay, yeah, I'm down. Like, oh, this whole group thing, like, okay, yeah, I'm down. Like,
Yeah.
or just us like three, like, yeah, I'm down. Like, it was literally like,
Yeah, whoever.
yeah. And so like I feel it was easier. I'm like, okay, like, you know,
Yeah. But also, like, at school, I remember I had, like, a bunch of different friend groups, too.
yeah.
Because I was, like, I could go and, like, talk to the people that were playing cards, like, Pokemon. And I would go sit with them, like, talk to them.
Yeah.
And they're, like, people that were being banned. And I would go and, like, talk to them, too.
Yeah.
Or, like, people that would ride bikes. Or, like, whatever it was, like,
Yeah,
their own
yeah.
little groups. That's why also at the same time, I felt like I didn't belong anywhere.
Oh.
Because I was just everywhere. Not everywhere, but, like...
Yeah.
With like a lot of people
With
that I
everyone.
knew. Yeah, I knew
Mhm.
like multiple people,
Yeah.
and I don't know, just find a way to like say something, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it was just funny because at some point, when people were like looking for you, like they would call me. They're like, "Where is he? Do you know what he's doing? Like, what is this? Like?"
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, "Why are you calling me?" He's like, "Aren't you with him?" And sometimes I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's right here."
Or like something you knew what I was gonna do, or something.
Oh yeah, he's like,
Or where I
"Oh
was at.
no, I know he's busy." So
Or like, oh, he's doing this probably with this person. Or
yeah,
like whatever
so it was kind of like, we just became close. We just became like, because I feel like for a time we became close, like as in like just, like we became really good friends. But it was just kind of like friends, just like hanging out, friends. But then like I feel like another, like after that it was when I feel like when we were both going through things,
Yeah.
I feel like kind of like tested our friendship even more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as soon as, because I've experienced it, like as soon as like you have problems, as soon as you have issues, not with the person but just in your own life,
Yeah.
and you tell like your so-called friend, they sometimes they don't want to hear about it. Sometimes they're just like, okay, like that's a you problem, or like don't talk about to me, like why are you like why do I care, why
Like just hang out.
yeah, like why, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why like like I never had anyone else again, like besides Amy. And then like I'm like, okay, but with Hasi, I'm like, what if he just doesn't want to hear that, you know? What if he just wants to hang out and like just have like hang out and like have a good time and not wanting to hear me out or hear what I have to say or hear what I'm going through or like
Yeah.
be there for me, you know?
Yeah.
And so to me it was kind of like scary because I'm like dang, I had so much fun hanging out with him, and I'm like, what if after that he's like, okay, yeah, like don't talk to me about that, or like like nah, let's just hang out, or like no, we're like, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know, at some point I was just like debating, you know?
Yeah.
And but then I remembered I was like, no, God, like I literally prayed for a friend like him, you know? And it shouldn't be like just in the good, but in the bad.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Jonathan and David's like what they went through, like, you know, his dad literally wanted to kill his best friend, like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Like they still stuck with each other, like that was the thing. And then with you, I feel like that after we were both going through things, like I confided in you and like you with me. And like I felt like such a sense of relief.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if it was just me, I feel like, oh, like maybe like I'm just like a weight on his shoulder or something, you know, that.
Yeah.
But then just the fact that you felt like
yeah, just sometimes you need someone to like hear you out or like to give you advice or just to listen to what you have to say, like about how you're feeling.
Yeah, like literally. And then that's when I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm like, well, I mean, I trust him now, like completely after, sharing things with you and you with me. And that's when we started, like seeking God together. We were pushing each other to do better. We were pushing each other to do more. We were pushing each other to keep going, like in this path. Because I'm like, it's so hard. It's difficult. It's never like easy.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's good times, there's bad times, but we always have to keep pushing. Yeah, that's when we like started doing prayer together. And we invited the other youth, and like we were doing it for quite a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I was going through something, and I told you about it.
Yeah.
Like many times, so and then I think what really kind of like a moment where I was like kind of like wow, like, or like in awe, when you were when I was going through something, and then I don't know if you set a date or you told me or asked me, but point being, you're like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna, I don't know, fast for you. And I think at that moment, like I didn't want to fast because I was just like so over it. I was just like I didn't want to do it.
I think it was the time we fasted like for a week. We said, remember, like I think Monday through Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Well, because honestly, I didn't know, like, well, I feel like my words weren't, I didn't know what to say sometimes. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, I know God is, like, the one who puts words, and, like, but I was like, I know, like, I've been praying, but I know there's also, like, fasting, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, the only way is, like, me, like, asking God to help you. You know what I mean? I'm, like, also, like, maybe through me, but, like, point being, like, doing something about it instead of just kind of like whenever somebody tells you like, oh yeah, like I have this, and then you tell them like, oh, I'll pray for you. In reality, sometimes a lot of times like people don't pray about it. They just say like, I'll be praying for you,
or forget.
Yeah, sometimes they
or
forget.
Just, don't.
It's not like yeah, they forget or whatever it is, but it's like actually doing something about it, you know? Yeah, because I remember we did fast for like that week. Yeah, it was a long week.
But yeah, I remember I was shocked. Like the TikTok audio. I was shocked, honey. I was shocked because I was like, I know I would do it for people, but I never had anyone, not specifically fasting.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's really asked me to fast for them, but I have. But
yeah.
But I'm just in general, like, I feel like the kind of person's always doing things for people, and sometimes I receive it back, or sometimes it's mutual, and I don't know. So
yeah.
And then so I was shocked when you told me that. I was like, not that you said it, or I think it was just more the act of like, I was like, wow, like he cares enough about me to do it. Like after I literally told him I'm struggling, and after I told him I'm like going through this, and then you were like immediately like, okay, like let's fast, like I'll fast for you. And I was so I was like, what? Like who would like who in their mind would like do that for me, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, and if anything, it just encouraged me more, you know, to do. I'm like, okay, like yeah, you're right, you know. Especially since you're like literally sacrificing your
stomach.
Yes, your body, your flesh for a cause, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like how you said the act, you know. And it's like if you're trying to help someone, a lot of times it's actually doing things, actually like praying and actually like fasting. How I told you, how that made you feel, and it's like if you do it for another person too, like maybe the other person will actually do it for the other person. It's kind of like a chain too.
Like
And
you think about it, like, you know what, someone did that for me, and when I needed the most, and I'm gonna do it for them, because I know you need it at this time.
Yeah. And it's like how God said, like, pray for each other, like
for one another.
And it's like that's what we need to do, like pray and fast for one another to be able to like go through our struggles, but like actually do it. Like
actually pull through.
Yeah, literally actually pull through. It's like when the plans of the group actually came over. Not just like, oh, okay, like,
yeah, not just saying, not all talk.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, it's just,
but yeah, that's how we
started like becoming friends. And it's like, hopefully people can like find someone that helps them, like, whoever's listening, and if how you prayed and God answered you, God can do the same with like whatever who ask, and also you were asking for a good cause. You were asking because you wanted someone, and also to like push you to get close to him.
Yeah, because if you ask for someone to like, God, like, I don't think you'd pray about it, but you would probably desire and someone to go to the club with me, someone like,
yeah, or someone I can cheese me out with.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like that's not,
yeah, But yeah, it's just like God can answer that too, He answered it for you. It's like a living testimony that God can answer, And it's, yeah.
And then, then we just got to know each other more. Came really close, and then we got to know each other like what's the word?
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like now I can already imagine what you're gonna say, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna.
Oh yeah.
And like, there's always like those good. What's the word? Good times.
Yeah.
But also like being in a friendship is, it's a lot, because again, like depending like the level
Yeah.
that it is. For example, like Jonathan David, like it was, I don't think their friendship would be easy. I don't think their friendship was all like all good. Like they literally had to sacrifice things
for each other
and had to go through a lot, and and like with us, like I know I know that with us, like me and you, and like I feel like I'm a lot. Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing.
I'm a lot to handle, and I don't know what people think of me, to be honest. Like, I don't know how they think I am. I'm like, you already know me.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want y'all to know I'm like this man right here. I'm like always like picked up the phone, like when I needed it, was always there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you literally like changed my life for the better.
Yeah.
And like, I know you're already like my brother-in-law, but like I told you, like even like way before Amy.
Yeah.
that you're like a brother to me. For those of you who don't know, like I don't have any like brothers like in blood.
Yeah.
I just have my 3 sisters, and I always wanted a brother. Oh, why did it sound like that? I always wanted a brother, and to be honest, I used to pray for it when I was like little, but at some point I just like gave up because I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, I gave up after like after my parents said they weren't having any more kids. So I'm like, okay, well,
I keep praying.
yeah. But yeah, like you were always like there for me, and like you still are.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, I don't know how you did it. Because you're like so patient with me, and I was like, honestly, I don't think I'd be able to handle myself like the way you handled me.
That's so funny.
I'm like, nah, I would have given up. I would have.
Alright, bye. Just kidding.
Yeah, literally.
No, I mean, I don't know. Just, I said patience. You know? And I don't know, you do the same. Like, I know you've done the same for me too. Like, whenever I needed it the most too. And it's like how you said, it's like a mutual thing. It's not just like one person like doing it. It's like both, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what kind of like also like, you know, it's like, oh, okay, like if it was this person's turn to be there this time, like the other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like there for each other whenever we needed it. Because, yeah, it's not easy, you know? It's not easy to just be by yourself when you're going through something.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's always good to like be able to trust someone and be able to speak to them, knowing that they're not gonna judge and they're gonna give you good advice and not just give you any advice that would lead you to do anything bad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is great that God bless us to be able to have that, you know?
Yeah, that friendship.
Mm-hmm.
For everyone who's listening, I want you to know that obviously you're not alone. You know, you have God, and God is with you always. But at some point, you know, you do need a good friend with you.
Mm-hmm.
Best friend, to help you through things and to help you push you to do good things. And we saw that story with Jonathan and David, you know, where they trusted each other, they supported each other, they were loyal, and they put, you know, the Lord between them, their friendship,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge like takeaway, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's it for this episode.
Yes, sir. Hopefully you guys got something. You guys got something out of it.
No, I don't know if you want to pray to be dismissed.
Oh, was it my turn? Sorry. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to speak about your word. Thank you, Lord, for this day. I thank you for every single one, every single person that is listening. And I ask, Lord, for you to be with them, for you to give them that peace that they need, for you to give them that friend that they need. Lord, I asked for you to help them and guide them, Lord, to you, for you to be with them in their minds and their hearts. In the name of Jesus, I pray.
Amen. Well, thank you guys for listening. We hope you share this with friends and family. And remember that everything is in His timing. Stay blessed.
Be blessed.